obodo nwe IPOB ndị nwe obodo nwe indigenous people of Biafra led by supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike ikuku ama nọ n'odogwu enyere mberede ụmụ Biafra niile bịagere akụkọ ụwa eziokwu nke pụrụ iche ka anyị na-eweta n'unu Radio Biafra oke zuru ụwa niile Radio Biafra Radio Biafra Radio Biafra ụmụ Biafra niile bịagere akụkọ ụwa eziokwu nke pụrụ iche anyị na-ewetara unu Radio Biafra oke zuru ụwa niile
anyị nọ na Radio Biafra okwu bụ ikuku adị ekweghị ekwu ikuku bụ ndụ ikuku ọma ikuku mba ụwa niile onye kuwarịwarị okube na o kelele
pepepepepepe ọjọlọjọlọ bombo ụmụ Biafra onye agha na nwanne ya anankịsọngị bibi ya onye agha na nwanne ya efiki shekiri gbanke onye agha na nwanne ya ndị Igbo ịgala n'igede onye agha na nwanne ya kedu maka ndị Ijọ onye agha na nwanne ya onye agha na nwanne ya Radio Biafra Radio Biafra ụmụ Biafra niile bịagere akụkọ ụwa eziokwu nke pụrụ iche anyị na-ewetara unu Radio Biafra oke zuru ụwa niile ekene dịrị Chineke maka ezi onye ndu anyị Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike onye amụma obi n'igwe ma n'ịbụ ode njinji ibe niile gwazila anyị na omezugonu Radio Biafra anyị bụ ode njinji Maazị Uche Mefọ anyị bụ ode njinji ụmụ Biafra niile anyị bụ ode njinji ode n'Igbo nwiso anyị bụ ode njinji 27 November bandị ndị ọma
Yeah.
Long live IPOB mama as bombo class, yeah. We are the IPOBs. Umuchukwu, yo man.
Biafra in London, Biafra in Germany, Biafra everywhere. Biafra in Russia, Biafra in Malaysia. Everybody likes it. They tried to kill us many years ago, killing the people of Biafra, destroying the people of Biafra. But somebody said to all the IPOB, respect the leader of indigenous people. Nobody can stop Biafra, I say it. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra, because Biafra is strong. You can judge the leader of Biafra. You can kill the people of Biafra, but never, never change their decision. Every time I play this Babylon, I wish me every day. Every time I sing this Babylon, I wish me every day. They tried to kill us many years ago, killing the people of Biafra, destroying the people of Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong.
Yo, they say good and evil and we chose good. One buckle.
Biafra in bedroom, Biafra in bathroom, Biafra everywhere. Biafra in jail, Biafra in church, everybody likes it. They tried to kill us many years ago, killing the people of Biafra, destroying the people of Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong. I told you, nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Obama. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong. Britain. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop Biafra because Biafra is strong.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Umuchukwu Media USA coming to you live from the state of New Jersey. We are here once again to bring to you the good tidings, the message which we received from our leader, Onyendu Nwachineke, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Uche Before, the evangelization of the reinstauration of the free republic called Biafra. Today we are here again with one of priests. He's one of the IPOB, if I may say, and he has some important information that he wants to pass across to our people all over the world. Father, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Umuchukwu. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Can you introduce yourself to fellow Biafrans?
Yeah.
Many people already online.
Yeah, I think I'm already familiar with Umuchukwu Radio Media, and I commend them very much for the wonderful work of evangelization they are doing for the restoration of Biafra. And when they asked me about this interview, I had to oblige because I know that they have committed much of their time and energy towards this evangelization, and however little I can help, I am more than willing to do that. So, Umuchukwu Media, you are most welcome to my office.
Thank you. So, Father, the first question is this. Why are you an IPOB member as a priest? Because we made to understand that we are terrorist organization.
Yeah.
And as you can see what is happening in Nigeria today, every other groups have done more than what we've done before, and they prescribe us as a terrorist organization. So as a priest, so you're a terrorist. Are you a terrorist or a PUB member?
I think really that really sounds, I would say, ridiculous, in the sense that it's really difficult to understand why the label of the indigenous people of Biafra as terrorists. So for record purposes, I'm not a terrorist. I'm a full-fledged Biafran and a citizen of the United States of America. And as a follow-up to the introduction, my name is Reverend Father Austine Odinmegwa. Father Odinmegwa is from Oraukwu. Oraukwu is in Idemili province of Omambara, which they call Anambra State, Biafra land. Let me also use this forum to condole with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and his family for the double tragedy they had in their family a few months ago, losing their mother, and within a very short space of time, they also lost their father. And it is amazing how they have been able to deal with it and then kept on moving on with the pursuit of the restoration of Biafra. I commend them a lot. They're already in my prayers. I've prayed for their parents, and I will continue to pray for them and for their family. And also like to use this opportunity to say a happy New Year to all the Christians who go by the Gregorian calendar. We are praying that last year was good. This year is going to be much better. The year 2020 is going to be much better for this struggle. And we are looking forward to a lot of wonderful events coming on in this year, especially the Million March that will be coming on the 20th of June, 2020 in Washington, D.C. We are going to storm that capital to let the world know the strength of the people of Biafra. That said, you asked me the question, why are you a member of IPOB?
So you're a terrorist.
And ipso facto, as we say in Latin, a terrorist. Yes, I am a member of IPOB, a hardcore member of IPOB. I took an oath to do everything within my powers to restore Biafra. And it's an obligation that I'm not taking lightly in any way at all. Because beyond all reasonable doubt, we know what is going on back home in Nigeria. And we know that the Fulani, I keep calling them the Fulani Federal Republic of Nigeria, because the Fulanis have this unbelievable agenda that is aimed at Islamizing and Fulanizing the entire country, and possibly eliminating Christians.
So in that note, let me just add it together with this, as you're explaining the reason why you are an IPOB member. Do you think there is, what do you think about this Fulani Islamization? Is anything like that going on, or is there any agenda based on what is happening? Just as you're explaining to us why you are an IPOB member, you can put it together with this Islamization, because it's our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that has been crying for this for over 5 years since I joined the IPOB, about the Islamization agenda by the Fulanis. So can you put it together? They are in parallel with IPOB.
Yes. By the nature of my studies, I studied social justice at Fordham University, and I am able to understand a lot of signs and symptoms of any kind of genocide going on in any particular area. All you need to do is to take a couple of steps backwards and then to find out whatever is going on, what is the genesis of what is going on. And what is going on in Nigeria is a complete Fulanization and Islamization of the country. I don't have any doubts in my mind that that is what is going on. It has been re-echoed by a lot of people, including Obasanjo, General Obasanjo, a couple of other enlightened people back home in Nigeria, and they are 100% right. Now, why did I come to that conclusion of believing that there is a planned and systematic movement, not only to Islamize and Fulanize Nigeria, but also to exterminate Christians? Because you take a couple of steps backwards, you look at what Othman Dan Fodio did in 1800. He came to Nigeria and made it clear that his mission was to dip the Quran in the lower part of the Niger. That's like a euphemism, but it means a lot. He is passing a message, very concrete message, that he wants to make sure that from the north to the south, down to the lower part of the Niger, everybody knows and uses Quran. That's exactly what it means. And in a very short term, to Islamize the whole country. And then you look at what happened after him. You look at somebody like Sultan of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello.
Okay, Ahmadu Bello.
Ahmadu Bello came as far back as 1960. I don't forget this quote from Ahmadu Bello. That's why I wrote it down. I had it somewhere here. And Ahmadu Bello, as early as 1960, January 12th, 1960, just after the independence, Ahmadu Bello said, this new nation called Nigeria is an extension of the estate of our great father, Othman Dan Fodio. We must fight ruthlessly to protect it. Use the people of Middle East, Middle Belt as willing tools, and Southerners as conquered territory. Never allow them to rule over us. Never allow them control their future. Ahmadu Bello, October 12th, 1960. And then you're like, wait a second. We just had our independence on October 1st, 1960. Which means, while Azikiwe and the group, all over them, were rejoicing and popping up champagne that we have gotten our independence, these people, the Fulanis, had their agenda.
Already.
And so this guy uses this opportunity, probably in a forum of Fulani elites, to reassure them that whatever is going on in Lagos in the name of independence,
They are not part of it.
don't even be worried about it. Nothing has changed in our agenda. That's exactly what I understood from it. Especially when you take note of this fact that Ahmadu Bello was supposed to be in the position of Tafawa Balewa. He was invited to be he was supposed to be the prime minister. He said no. He has a more important agenda of mobilizing the North towards their age-old agenda that came from Othman Dan Fodio, which is the Islamization of the entire, total Islamization of Nigeria. This agenda was by far more important to him than the independence. That is why he relinquished that position to Tafawa Balewa, who was a much weaker person in terms of this agenda, to go and represent the North in the government, the new government being formed. And while they were there in Lagos, still popping up champagne, he was back home reassuring his people that our agenda is still intact. And I read it once again because it makes a whole lot of sense. It throws a lot of light to what is going on presently in Nigeria. He told his people, this new nation called Nigeria is an extension of the estate, property of our great father, Uthman Dan Fodio, which means this Nigeria belongs to their father, belongs to them, belongs to their father, and ipso facto belongs to them, the children of Uthman Dan Fodio. And he told them, we must fight ruthlessly. The key word is ruthlessly. Not by dialogue, not by negotiation, not by any other means, but every violent means. Ruthlessly to protect it. Use the people of Middle Belt as willing tools. And Southerners as conquered territory. And you begin to ask yourself, this is October 1960, before the Civil War. So when and where did they conquer? The Southerners. But what happens is this is exactly what they are telling their people.
Yes.
They are conscientizing their people, telling them, don't mind the Southerners are conquered people.
And that's why they, you know, as you can see on the internet, they will pack them like fish, dump them in any village. You see them walking as
Exactly,
if that's
because they
land.
believe that this is their land.
Their promised land.
Yes. And he says, never allow the Southerners to rule over us. And even, we will not allow them to control their future.
Yes.
And you ask yourself, put yourself in the shoes of these Fulanis. Their leader, their hallowed leader,
Already told them
is telling them this. Who are you
to stop them.
to change this kind of consciousness in them?
So in that aspect, does it mean that's why all the Biafrans or Igbos or whatever politicians, they are like, I don't know what to call them. They're, you know, is it because of that instruction? Because they are in line with that. None of them can stand and speak like a man. No politicians from our end can speak anything against what is happening in our area. Is it because of that?
Well, when you look at our southern politicians and also look at the Fulanis are learning a lot from the British.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And Britain made it clear that it took them months to conquer the Hausas and months to conquer Yorubas. But it took them almost 30 years to conquer the Igbos. Remember? And the Fulanis are wonderful students of Britain. They know that. So they know that in open confrontation, they cannot penetrate Igbo land. So they have to continue to do their homework. They will do the math, do the add maths to figure out how to penetrate the Igbos. And they found it out after the war.
Yes.
Remember, Gowon said, if I knew that I could use a couple of naira to buy the Igbo man, I would not have gone into war. I would just bribe a couple of people that will be fighting Ojukwu for us.
So that's what they're doing now.
So that's exactly what the Fulanis are doing.
With our politicians.
They get into the system. They know that the politicians are vulnerable because of they have studied them and known that many of them are vulnerable. And so they had to bribe them with money, with position, and compromised practically every one of all the politicians from Southeast. And so, it paved the way for them to come in. To come in. You remember Oji Zokalo saying, oh, forget about Ruga. I was the first person who implemented Ruga.
Yes.
Years before the debate, they had already started implementing Ruga for the Fulanis. And as we were discussing about the Ruga, Enugu State already had 11 or 14 official Ruga settlements, settlements. And yet, we were in the house or in the media discussing why no, we don't want Ruga.
Well, the Ruga
It's already well
running.
established. The same thing with practically most of the states in Southeast. Rugalized. We didn't know. And so, being wonderful students of Britain, they figured out how to penetrate us. And they succeeded in penetrating. Look at Governor Obiano, telling us that Mieti Allah is part of his government.
So,
And we thought it was only Anambra State. The same thing with Enugu State. Yet Allah is in their office. One man said that he was made Igwe. Remember, Igwe working in the governor's office as a liaison for the Fulanis. So definitely the same thing must be applicable in the other states. So Mieti Allah is inside the government, piloting the affairs of the state governments in Eastern region. This is all their master plan when in collaboration with Britain. Penetrate them, just like Americans. They don't destroy you as a system until they are able to penetrate you. It doesn't matter who you are. They will penetrate into the system and destroy you from inside, especially if you are a tough country. They must get in. Because the easiest way to destroy a system is from inside, not outside.
yes.
So that's exactly what they figured out to do. And the politicians became the easy prey for them.
One more, let me put this to you, because you're a priest, though you are in the United States, under the Islamization and the Fulanization that is happening back home, there are so many priests that has been killed. Nobody's talking. There's this recent one that I sent to you, young priest in Kaduna. How many of them were kidnapped? So it's now a daily occurrence in killing the priest, kidnapping the priest from our area, because the can is now part of the willing tools in the hand of the Fulanese. Cans, they don't talk. Even the can chairman, is it in Adamawa? The guy is in the hand of Boko Haram, pleading for his life. Yeah. The can cannot even step up and do demonstration or speak up against the can whatever that is being held. So what do I thought there are bishops and archbishops back there, even the Vaticans that can intercept, what's going on there. So many priests that are being killed. Before was IPOB that are being killed. Nobody's talking. Today, the level of the kidnapping of the priest is alarming. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, I'm happy that you brought up this issue because it tallies with what I said on June 30th when we had a convention with Onyendu. That the primary reason I joined IPOB is because having studied what is going on, what has been going on in Nigeria, I discovered beyond any reasonable doubt that my own family is under threat of extinction, under attack. My own society, my family gave me life. My community, my society gave me identity. They are under threat of extinction. Yes. My church, to which I have committed my life for the last 30 years, is under threat of extinction by these Fulanis. And then I look around. Which alternatives do I have to defend myself, defend my family, defend my community, defend my church? Practically none, except IPOB. Nobody. I mean, certain groups of people you expect that should understand, should be able to read the handwriting on the wall. Either they read it, understood it, but they are so coward that they cannot say a word or do something. Or they don't even understand the handwriting on the wall. And this includes both the church. When I talk about the church, it's not just Catholic Church, Anglican, everybody. Church as a body. Especially the Christian Association of Nigeria. Nobody was saying something. And I told myself, you either do something and die doing something to defend yourself, which is a natural instinct God has given to every human being, yes, including the unborn child. The unborn child is in the womb. Once it's mature to come out, the child is scrambling for fresh air to survive. If you don't deliver the child will destroy the environment, and everybody will go down with the child. That is how powerful self-defense is. It knows no bounds. That's why every law, every community, every society recognizes the right of self-defense because it's a matter of survival. Yes. So when I looked around and saw that IPOB is the only viable option to put a full stop to the madness of the Fulanis, I wasted no time in joining IPOB. Not just to defend myself, I need to defend my family, I need to defend my community, I need to defend my church. I have it as a moral and natural obligation to do that. And I owe nobody no apologies. I owe nobody no apologies for it. Now, when you come to the priests being killed, we have lost a lot of priests in the hands of the Fulanis, and it keeps going. The number is going up.
Nobody's talking.
And then you are like, it is either I do something, I keep saying it, and die in the process as a soldier fighting for my survival, or I don't do anything and still die. And in most cases, a shameful death, an ignominious death. In other words, we may not even find your body. Right. And nobody celebrates you after you die. And you ask yourself, which one is a better option? To die fighting in defense of your people, or to die just whisked away from your house, incapacitated, defenselessly? An average soldier who is a trained soldier, who is honest, will always like to die with the bullet in front, not the bullet at the back. When the bullet comes to your back, it means that you are running away from the war front, right, and you die the coward. So that is why I said there is no, in as much as we ask, we pray. We have prayed a lot about Nigeria, for the Nigeria in trouble. Years. How many years? We have been praying for Nigeria in distress, Nigeria in trouble, Nigeria in this, Nigeria in that. Does it mean that prayer doesn't work? No, it doesn't mean.
The prayer doesn't work for Nigerians. That's what I told my
It basically means that when you are praying
wrongly,
you also have to be doing something.
Yes.
It's not enough to pray. You have to be doing something. Faith without good work is dead. Prayer without action is dead. It's chaff. You have to be doing, because what we do in prayer is to ask God. We are submitting ourselves to God, to asking God to look at our incapabilities, our weakness, and transform them into some strength that will motivate us into doing something, or into finding a way out of our situation. If you are sick and you are going from one prayer house to the other without going to check out from the doctors what is wrong with you, come on. Things will continue to get worse. Does it mean that there are no miracles? Sure, there are miracles. We don't rule it out. How many of them? Very few. Which means an average person is expected, as you pray, you also do something to better the situation in which you are. And so, when we pray as a church for peace in Nigeria, and we are looking at these people, the Fulanis, they are damning any kind of rules and regulations in their country, and they're destroying community after community. There should come a point when we should say as a church, enough is enough. We have to do something, especially as a group. If you don't do it, you will be in the church. Two priests were celebrating mass with their catechists and their community. These guys came into the church and killed all of them.
Everybody.
Killed all of them.
And Rome are not saying anything about that.
So, the point is this: there has to be some collective response from the church to this madness, because it's not stopping. We are not in the same frame of mind as these people. And I mentioned it once in a group. I said, why can't they can, as a body, say, or working in consonance with the Catholic Bishops' Conference, why can't we say, until the Fulanis stop this madness, we are asking all Christians on Fridays, don't eat meat, don't eat cow meat.
Mm-hmm.
Something, do something.
At least.
Say, tell them, once you say it and we are serious about it, I believe you me, this their business. They are killing people because of cows. And we are not doing anything. And we're expecting that magic will come from heaven.
Do you think it's because of cow? This next question, I will hold it, then I will go to the next one before I will come back again. Like, some Christians are afraid that Biafra will usher in Judaism in one aspect. In the other aspect, there is this fear of uncertainties in the minds of other groups in Nigeria. So even some Christians are even scared of Biafra restoration, or once you said Biafra, they are so scared to death, especially the Yorubas. They are scared to death when you mention Biafra. But in the other hand, some Christians are worried that some are saying Nnamdi Kanu is taking us to Judaism. Nnamdi Kanu wants us to be Jewish. Nnamdi Kanu wants us, so what do you have to say about this? Didn't you think it contributed to all this complacency of not like, let's just fold our hands and keep watching? Then who are you watching? Are you watching the IPOB, or are you scared that this IPOB, what do you have to say on that?
Yes. There is a proverb in Igbo land that says, Ọkụkọ, nwa ọkụkọ, adechezo onye kwori ọdụ n'udu mmiri.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
In English, it is said, a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay.
If you are my friend when I'm in difficulty, you are truly a friend.
Sure.
Not a friend during the time of plenty and celebration. No, he's a friend when I was in need. Mm-hmm. And even Jesus of Nazareth mentioned it. When I was in prison, you visited me. When I was sick, when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. These are all human situations that call for help. Now, the Fulanis are killing the Christians all the way from north through Middle Belt down to south.
Even in the east.
Down to south and east. And like you said, you are expecting some tangible response from the church, the body of the church, Christianity as a body,
Yes.
to do something. They're not doing anything.
Our leader
And
said,
then,
let me not cut you, right? Our leader, when he was in US, in the Capitol Hill, they told him it's a herdsman crash. That's what they told him.
yeah, because
Someone with AK-47 with somebody with Bible, it's a crash.
Yeah, because unfortunately, that is what they hear in the media, controlled by Yoruba. They were bought over. So they keep projecting to the world that is a clash. And that is why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, how can you be talking of a clash where the headsman has AK-47 and the farmer has nothing? How can you call it a clash? And then how can you call it a clash where hundreds and thousands of farmers die, not a single Fulani is recorded dead, and not a single Fulani is arrested?
Okay.
How can you call it a clash? But the point is this. We know that the government, that's why I call them the Fulani Federal Government of Nigeria. The government is, nobody should be doubting whether the government is in collude with what the terrorists
I
men
will
are
come
doing.
back in that
So,
government. So finish
now,
that.
when we know that, we are not expecting much from the government in terms of self-defense, we do what Danjuma told the Middle Belterners: defend yourself. How are we defending ourselves as a church? I have heard this cry a lot of time. Oh, why can't the West come and help us?
America
Why
come and
can't
help us,
America come and help us? Britain come and help us, and all that. Hey, you have to be doing something
Before I went out, just to go.
before they come to help you. Ndị be anyị sị na onye a na-eduje n'ama na-ebu ụzọ. You must show the lead. You are not putting out any statement. You are not even confronting the United Nations as a body of Christianity. You are not storming Washington, D.C. as a body of Christianity. You are not storming Vatican City as a body of Christianity.
Yes.
How would they know what you are going through?
Then they believe that.
They are now dependent on the Yoruba media.
Media.
And Yoruba, they have been bought over by the Fulanis.
Sure.
Every single media outlet is bought over. They water down everything. And that's why they keep saying, oh, it's a clash between farmers and herdsmen. Farmers and herdsmen. And you go to the United Nations, what do they hear? Oh, it's because of drought and the temperature, this thing. That is why the Fulanis are moving down to the south to feed their cattle.
You see the wickedness part of this Yoruba media. You saw what the Yorubas inaugurated a few days back, a few weeks back. The Ama, whatever they call it, Amakun, the security department, they have gone, they have new cars. Yoruba were the one in the top front of prescribing IPOB. This IPOB BSM, they just march, they just do marching. That's it. The Yoruba, they started crying everywhere. Then look at them today, they have guns, they have cars. Now the Arewa youth are telling them they are a threat to the national. Those Yoruba medias are not crying. No. But our own, none of our guys has bullet or gun or even stick.
Now,
you see?
Now, we need to understand the power politics in Nigeria. the Yoruba and the Hausas, since before the war, or rather, since just after the war, or just before the war actually,
Yes.
Ojukwu released Awolowo from Calabar prison, sent him home on agreement that he was going there to declare Oduduwa. And he Awolowo went back and then negotiated with the Fulanis, got the finance minister, and everything became, forget it. He changed. So when you look at the Yorubas are playing their game according to who they are. They don't want to lose. They want to stay where things are happening.
The middle.
They have always been in alliance with the Fulanis and the North, and they are getting compensated. So in that platform, they can now turn and do and castigate Igbos as the problem, the Biafrans as the problem people. Right? Now, but since Buhari came to office in 2015, things changed drastically. They thought that the anger and animosity and the killing was for the Igbos. And in all honesty, check all the killings from 1945 down. Only once they killed the Yorubas, and the Yorubas went to meet their emirs and pleaded with them not to be killing Yorubas. And since then, they have never done it.
Let them be killing only the Igbos.
Only the Igbos. Now, since 2015, the Yorubas have realized that, hey, this Fulanization and Islamization agenda is not limited to the Biafrans, to the southeast. They have experienced the upsurge of Fulanis in their forests. They have experienced the increment of armed banditry on their roads. The daughter of Afenifere was killed the other time. So they felt, wait a second, I thought we are together in this business to face the Biafrans, and you are now attacking us. They had to take a step or two backwards. And then in the sense of self-defense, they started figuring out how to defend themselves. And that is how they ended up with this Amojokun force. Security force. Do you blame them? No. It rather sends out a very powerful message to our Southeast governors who are stooges of Fulanis. Look at them. They mobilized themselves, raised the money, went to Innocent and bought cars for security of the entire Yoruba area.
You see?
And defended it, that it is a regional, that this is what it's supposed to be. And why do you blame them? If the Fulanis could create 13 states and give them Sharia with their own separate police,
Their Sharia police
taking care of their states,
police.
taking care of their states, they didn't say, oh, we already have federal police. No, they have their Sharia police.
And they're operating with different law,
with different laws and
out
different
of the constitution of that zoo.
Exactly. Why would you, as an Arewa in the north, condemn the Yorubas who have taken similar step to protect themselves? No. I should rather say, shame unto our southeast governors.
Very shameful thing.
It's unfortunate that people are planning to protect themselves. Middle Belt, I read in the news, are already planning their own. Soon they will launch their own. And then Biafran land will be left vacant and defenseless. And then we go about with all kinds of titles, doing all kinds of maga as the Igbo elites, governors and all that nonsense, when our people are being raped and killed on daily basis and nobody is defending them. And so that is why I would say at this point in time, the only voice that is speaking hope to our people is the voice of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
And we all have to stand with him.
The good news about it is the Christians should not be afraid, especially those of us who are in this struggle. We should not be afraid because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has made it clear time and time again. When Biafra comes, If you want to worship tree, is your own business.
Cockroach.
If you want to worship cockroach, is your business. The only thing is every single religious principle and all that must be under the state.
That's why he keeps saying that
law.
Biafra is our religion.
No religion will be above the state.
Yes.
No
Yes,
religion.
yes.
And I accept that 100%. Now, maybe when Biafra comes, like I was sharing with some of my colleagues when I was home last year, that because of our nonchalant attitude to the plight of our people, to the killings and all these things, we are going to lose a whole lot of these young people to whichever religion Mazen Nnamdi declares. And we don't even have control over it.
Yes.
We don't have control over it. Why? Because a friend in need is a friend indeed. We may silent at this point in time, silence says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot to our people. And I keep pointing it out to my colleagues as priests. We don't have to wait for the bishops. The bishops are there in the cathedrals. We are the priests who are right inside the communities, the villages with these people. We feel the people's pulse, we feel their pain, we feel their joy. Mm-hmm. We are the people who are supposed to have been able to find out that these people are going through a lot. And then be able to say, not if you don't want to do it as individuals, we pull ourselves together, call ourselves one name, 20, 30 of us. We'll be speaking with one voice and be challenging any system that tends to mortgage our people.
Yes.
Look at it, all the fire markets are being burnt.
Since Christmas.
The border is closed. Mm-hmm. Airports are closed. Seaports are closed. Our people are being caged. Every blessed day, our businesses are being destroyed. Up to yesterday, or even today, early this morning, Mbuko Bosi was set on fire. Who set it on fire? No investigation. Are we waiting for the traders to set the investigation? No. We are supposed to mobilize ourselves, find any reliable investigative system, law firm, to challenge some of these things. We're not doing anything. And these are our parishioners. So I keep putting it on my people, my fellow priests. We cannot fold our hands. We cannot keep quiet. We have it as a moral obligation to identify with our people as they are going through these difficulties. If not, also, Aguamire, at the end of the day, we're going to lose a lot of all these parishioners because of our inactivity and inability to understand or do something about their situation.
Okay, Father, let me come to this tough one. This one is very tough, but the reason why I would say it's not tough is Nnamdi Kanu is the only mouthpiece that has been yelling and shouting about this imposter. What do you think about this young boy in Asorok? Our leader called him Jubir
Al-Sudani.
Al-Sudani. Is it Al-Sudani or Buhari? Because he's the Sudanese man that is in that Asorok. That's why his brothers are ransacking everywhere. What do you have to say about that imposter young man, that 30 years, 40 years old man in that useless Asorok of a thing? What do you have to say about that? I
didn't know you would ask me this question, but since you have asked me that question.
Remember, what do you call him? T.Y. Danjumai.
Yeah.
He said, I will say something, whatever I will say, that Nigerians will not sleep.
Yes.
What's he saying that the Nigerians will not sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, again, Abo Hausa, there was a time Abo Hausa shouted his own. Abo Hausa shouted his own that there's something I will say here. I will talk.
If I talk. The country will boil.
The country will boil. So Father, say your own now.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I have pondered about that, the issue of Jibril. That Jibril is an imposture, a double of Buhari. But I want to take a step or two backwards to tell you how I anchored my thinking about the whole thing.
The young man.
Yes. You remember that after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu came out of prison,
Yes.
he was the first person that said that this man in Asarok is not Buhari. He said it again. What was the next reaction from the Fulani federal government?
Jet fighter,
They went
tanker,
to his to kill him.
and they killed 28 people
To kill him.
for saying that.
To kill him.
And one of
For
the
saying
men
that.
in Jerusalem said that.
For killing him. For saying that this man in Asarok
It's an impostor.
is an impostor. So when they could not kill him, he surfaced in Jerusalem.
He disappeared in Afaruku.
Disappeared in Afaruku Ibek and appeared in Jerusalem, which is a mystery of his own, which is a miracle of his own. And that is why sometimes when I look at this struggle, I keep telling myself that God's hands are in this struggle. Because how God does his own thing is, if he doesn't complete the mission, he's not going to let go. And God can never send you on a mission and leave you unaided.
Yes.
It doesn't happen. God will always provide for you with something to help you achieve the mission. So when he surfaced in Jerusalem, he kept saying that this man is not Buhari we voted in, that Buhari has died and buried in Saudi Arabia. He gave more details that he died on this date, he died in London. He mentioned the names of those who collaborated in the arrangement, including the Archbishop of Canterbury. And he said he has been buried, that this man is an impostor. Now, you begin to put one and two together. Buhari went to London. Then on coming sick, he was rushed to hospital. And then on coming back, Buhari...
He went to London like
he was rushed.
Like skeleton.
He was rushed to London.
and coming back as young as
We saw one or two pictures from his sick bed. Now Buhari comes back, and Buhari is no more able to enter his office.
Oh, now, but it's also not a legal plane.
No, he couldn't even enter his office
Because of the mouse.
And then we are like, what do you mean? They said, oh, it's because of rodents. That rodents has so much invaded their Sorok, the office of the president, that the president could not enter his office.
That's bullshit.
And it took 3 good months
To clear the rodents.
to clear the rodents before he could get back into the office. I told myself, something is fishy right here. Something is fishy right there.
Right?
And later on, I found out from my own personal investigations, the problem was the Asorok was built in such a way that coup or no coup,
You cannot penetrate.
the president is safe. He cannot penetrate. Only this president.
Nnamdi Kanu said.
That is section, yes. So when this guy came back, the fingerprint could not open anywhere. And it takes time. So even here in America, if you lose such, like in the bank, you lose your safe, nobody can enter it, it will take time to recode the entire system before you can open the place, the safe. So it took them time to rework. This is my own personal conclusion. It took them time to recode the whole system with the new person coming in.
With the new imposter.
Yes. Now, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu surfaced, he brought out more and more detailed features that showed stark difference between the Buhari we used to know and the new person in Asorok. The height, the palm, the ears, everything. So, I right after the rodent incident, I concluded that something is fishy. And I put on my philosophy cap to figure out what exactly happened until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came back and continued with the expose. So now, and then you still move it up. They wanted to kill him because of the revelation. And then you take it next step. All of a sudden, Britain is disturbed. They're in a problem. They did internal switching with the Fulanese. This is my calculation. They moved Atiku from PDP, from APC to PDP with some group of people. Why? Because this is my own calculation. They wanted, during the 2019 election, they will systematically transfer the office to Atiku so that the issue of Buhari and Jibril will die off and Britain will rest. Because this is international fraud of first class order. And it will be something shameful that Britain will be part of it. What happened? That is why when you are following certain things, you begin to connect the dots. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called for boycott of election in 2019. And then he said, you give me what I'm demanding. If you don't give me, I will not call off the boycott. Guess what? If we didn't call off the boycott, Buhari will be voted by the house. Half of houses, the Fulani houses will vote for Buhari. Half will vote for Atiku. The entire Yoruba will vote for Buhari, whose running mate is a Yoruba. And then in Biafra land, judging from the seat at home that was so successful, people will not vote. So it means that power will go back to Buhari. And then we will continue with the same story of an impostor. So what happened? This is what I think happened. Britain was forced to ascend to Atiku, signing whatever Onyendu had requested. And when he did, when Atiku signed, it created a problem for the Fulani cabals that Atiku will compromise if this thing was handed over to him. He will be compromised. So they now changed against the will of Britain, because Britain wants to save her face, to get rid of this imposter thing. So the cabals were determined, because they are so focused in achieving their aim, that they could compromise anything that comes on their way, including Britain. They said, no, we are going to rig this election like there is no tomorrow and continue with the imposture, no matter what, instead of handing it over to Atiku, whom they no more understand his ways.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did. And then you come on the swearing day. Britain was not there. France was not there. European Union was not there. No president from outside was there. Not even the British ambassador, who is living there in Abuja, showed up.
They did not show up.
None showed up. The European representative in Abuja didn't show up for the swearing-in ceremony. What does it tell you? That there was a friction between the cabals and the British opinion. So probably Britain must have insisted, it doesn't matter what it will be, we must hand it over to Atiku. And these people said, no, we no more trust Atiku. We must, because we must achieve our aim, which is Fulanization and Islamization agenda, and we need this imposture to complete our agenda, more than anything. So they were willing to compromise their relationship with Britain.
Right.
Because of their own agenda. That is how serious they are and how focused and how determined those people are. That was why, right after the swearing-in ceremony, they went to rekindle their relationship with Saudi Arabia. Because remember, Fulani will always anchor on somebody or somewhere to do whatever they want to do, including their fighting their wars.
They can fight.
They don't fight directly, they will always fight you indirectly. So they went to Saudi Arabia, renewed there. The next thing we had, Saudi Arabia is coming to build the second Niger bridge. Just to confuse the fools and the gullible. Now they discovered, Saudi Arabia may not help us so much when it comes to war and all that. Why don't we, they went to Russia to negotiate. Because they no more trust the West.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the West are like against them.
Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you look at all these things, you see that something was fishy. In the whole of this process, something serious was fishy. That's why I was discussing with one of the lawyers who asked me exactly this question. This thing I hear about this man, what do you think about it, that an impostor is in Asorok and running the country? I hate rumors like that, but he's a close friend of mine, a lawyer in one of the islands. So by then I had already gone through all these thought processes and then made my own conclusions. So I told him, now, look at it this way. I told him I don't want to go into all the details that Mazen Nnamdi is putting up. I told him, in all honesty, those details are meant for the common people back home in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. But for intellectuals and people like you and I, we don't see Buhari every day, so there's no way we can compare and contrast. But there is a way you can look at such a situation and be able to decipher what is the truth about it. I said, this is what I did. I asked myself, what does Mazen Nnamdi stand to gain by lying to the world that something as serious as the president of a significant country in the world, like Nigeria, is an imposter? I asked the lawyer, what does Mazen Nnamdi stand to gain if he were to lie to the whole world about something as serious as telling them that the country they have business deals with on regular basis, that the president is an impostor? What does he stand to gain? So I told the guy, you and I have lived with the whites. I went to school with them. I have lived with them in a house. As a black person, if you ever lie to a white person once,
you will see you as a liar.
No more. Even from that point, he will begin to rethink and review whatever you told him in the past. And he will never believe you again. Even when you're telling him, but he's not believing you because you lied as a black person. They can always give their fellow whites benefit of the doubt, but not a black person. I say, you and I went to school with these white people. We know them. You rather tell them the truth and apologize and plead with them. They will understand perfectly well. They will love you more for it than to lie to them. They take it very seriously. I say, what does Mazen Nnamdi stand to gain by lying to the whole world about the imposture in Asorok? I said, now let's look at it this way. Are you telling me that these world powers don't have a means of finding out the truth.
They knew. It's not there. It's
No, no. Let's presume that everything is hanging in hypothesis. Are you telling me that these world powers don't have a means to find out whether what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is telling them is true or not? Is that what you're telling me? They have their embassies in Nigeria. They have their intelligence all over the world. Sure. If they want to find out whether that imposture is Buhari or no Buhari, they will find it in 48 hours.
Sure.
Highest 72 hours, they will get the facts.
Sure.
And then you keep asking yourself, what does Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stand to gain by lying to the world?
Right.
So if they found out that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is lying to them about something as serious as telling them that the president Nasorok is an impostor, do you think they will ever listen to him again? This is when you are facing serious issue, you don't need to be analyzing it like market women. No, you put on your philosophy cap and look at the basics. Turn that thing upside down, and then you'll be able to find out where the truth lies. Because if this guy was lying to the world about the imposture in Nigeria, believe you me, EU will never invite him.
Yes, sure.
United Nations will never invite him.
He will not enter capital.
US will never invite him for anything. And so, I don't need all those physical appearances to be convinced that what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is saying,
that's a good one, Father.
Is truth. No, I can always put one and two together and figure out the truth for myself. I don't know about any other person.
Everybody has a right.
Everybody has a way of analyzing things and figuring out things for themselves. But for me, I don't think Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can compromise the agitation for Biafra just to lie about one thing. And it is not possible.
Okay, Father, here is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a few words for this so-called World Igbo Congress here in the United States as in regards to this Biafran struggle? If we talk about the World Igbo Congress here in US, they're just a name that is existing. I don't know if they're a political wing of Boko Haram, Hausa Fulanis. That's the way I see them, because I can't trace anything they are doing. They can't even come out and speak against anything that happened. Last time one of them came up and jump and Nabu. As you are talking about this World Igbo Congress, also Ohaneze Ndi Igbo na Nda Atoro, you have to, two of them, you have to say something about this World Igbo Congress in USA and Ohaneze Ndi Igbo na Nda Atoro. Ohaneze Ndi Igbo na Nda Atoro, Ohaneze Igbo, they approve Yoruba Amakum, because they approve them. Dara, mana IPOB-USA, not BSM, about terrorists. What do you have to say about these two people?
Let me say this. Let me say more about the World Igbo Congress, and then I'll bring Ohaneze in person, because I have encountered World Igbo Congress on a few occasions. As a matter of fact, the first time I came in contact with World Igbo Congress was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
They organized a convention in New Jersey here. So a friend of mine told me about it. I said, sure, I would love to go with you. So we went. I think I remember we paid for the gate and all that. It was here in New Jersey, so I didn't have to fly or drive the long distance. So when we got in there, P2B was there. P2B came, Ngige came, a couple of other top politicians were invited. But what shocked me was that I saw a name, I think name of either Buhari or Babangida or one of these Fulani politicians on the agenda, those who will be speaking to World Igbo Congress. So I told my friend, what is this? A Fulani coming to speak to World Igbo Congress.
Oh.
It's like, oh no, they come and they make their political speeches and make promises and all that. I say, a Fulani.
I say,
the Fulani. I say, have you attended any convention organized by the Yorubas?
Or
Ariwas in this type of context? He said, better. I say, you know what? Why I'm telling you this is that I'm leaving. That was how I left. He thought I was kidding. I just left. I said, I cannot leave. I cannot sit down here and listen to a Fulani politician talking about Igbo affair.
Oh.
So it's a shame, and I don't think I will carry that shame. So I left. It was like almost a couple of years ago, up to 7 to 8 or 10 years ago. So I walked out. He wanted to walk out. I said, no, you stay back. You don't have to be me. Just stay back and enjoy this thing. If you can deal with it, fine. I can't deal with it. There's no point sitting here and getting hyped up. So I left. That was my first impression of World Igbo Congress. Now, another time I got in touch with them was during the Python dance in 2017, where young people were being murdered, drowned in the mud, and killed like with armored tanks and all that. They were killed like crazy, even though as you kill them, many more were coming. So that sent out a social frenzy around the world. When I saw it, I couldn't sleep. For 3 days, I couldn't sleep. So I called my friend, Ifanyeze. I said, did you see what I'm saying? We spoke about it. He said, look, I told him something must be done. I need to get in touch with the World Igbo Congress. This is way out of order. So he said, I say, connect however I need to get in touch with World Igbo Congress. So he saw how serious I was. He called Dr. K. Enigwe here in New Jersey. I think he used to be either president or one of the executives of World Igbo Congress. So Kane had my voice. He knew me. So I said, look, I want to get in touch with World Igbo Congress. Something has to be done, and immediately, to get this situation arrested. Kenny told me, okay, that he would try to reach out to the officers and then find out what they're doing about it, and he'll get back to me. The next day, he called me again. I said, we're having a phone conference. They were having a phone conference. No, sorry, we're having a march in Washington, in front of the United Nations in New York.
Oh, okay. I remember.
I said, very good, that I was going. I went there, and I saw 17 priests, including 3 priests who came from Canada, Fadibe. They came from Canada. They drove for that rally. And after the rally, they drove back to Canada. You're talking of about 9 to 11 hours drive just for the rally. So they drove all night to be here. They're driving back all night to get back just for the rally. So after that, I was like, something has to. So K. Enigwe now called me and told me, oh, there's going to be a conference call by the World Igbo Congress that if I want to log in. I said, sure. He said, it's the next day, Saturday like this. So give me the call in, the code and everything and the time. So I called in about 30 minutes late. And the system told me I was the 512th person to call in. This is unbelievable. Then I was in the conference, doctors, professors, lawyers. Everybody was angry at what happened with the Python dance. Everybody was angry. Even one guy from Delaware said that he has prepared a package, he has submitted it to the Senate, their Senator Chris Coon, that is having a personal meeting with the senator, and something must be done.
What did they do?
I was so happy to have been part of that phone conference. And then at the end, we had a couple of resolutions we agreed upon. And one of them was that the Southeast governors, that we write the Southeast governors, telling them that the blood of these young people is in their hands. And they must do everything to stop the madness immediately. This is one of the items, about 11 or 13 resolutions we came upon. But I remember this one vividly because that's the one that stick well in my head. So I was happy at least something is happening. So after a while, I wanted to get back to Dr. Ken. Wanted to get back to make sure that these things were followed up. So we met with my friend again. We met with Dr. Ken. So Dr. Ken said, okay, that I will say what we want is, we want to if they can invite all the executives, few of those who can make it, they come together here. My friend was willing to pay for their hotel, for their feeding, everything. They come, we sit down to draft a follow-up agenda to this thing, to this Python dance. So what happened? Dr. Igwe said he called them. Oh no, they couldn't agree. They didn't even want to hear about that. Why would they? Said Dr. Igwe said, why don't we do a conference call? Yeah, okay, we can consider that, but before that, we want to see the points we want to discuss. So they got back to us. We sent out to them a page and a half, articulated points we want to discuss on how to protect our people back home and be able to hold these politicians accountable, or else things will continue to get worse.
But nothing has been done since then.
So we sent it to Dr. Igwe. Dr. Igwe forwarded it to every one of them. Okay, when do we have the phone conference call? No way. We pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. Nothing happened again. Dr. Igwe gave up. We gave up. We literally gave up.
So nothing was done about it.
So that was the last encounter I had with the World Igbo Congress. Now, I want to say this, because in all honesty, what I discovered later on is that these members of World Igbo Congress are the exact people who are inviting these governors and politicians back to US to celebrate them. After the Python dance, and after we aggressively and angrily agreed that the blood of these young people are in their hands,
they don't get themselves involved in the same shit.
They now turned around and started inviting these people back to celebrate them here in the US. That was why, remember, I mentioned it at the wake of Onyendu's mother, that I said it, I'm not good at cursing people who have not done it. I don't like to do it, because sometimes you may not even be, you may not be there. The thing will
but
be
sometimes,
happening.
Father, is good. Jesus belt.
But let me tell you, let me say this, and I'm dead serious about this, to the members of World Igbo Congress and all those who called in. That day, we have a phone conference call and condemned these governors and politicians. I want to say it without mincing word. If anybody was in that phone conference call, participated in condemning these governors, and in telling them that the blood of these young people is in their hands, and this person turns around and is inviting the same governors to celebrate with them, I want to tell these people from the depth of my person as a priest, if you ever do it, it will never be well with you. Never. And I'm serious about it. Because the judgment you give to others is going to come back to you. Because what you are telling yourself is, the way you condemn these governors, you are also guilty of the same thing. You are guilty of the blood of these people. If not, why would you begin to invite? After all this, you are inviting this governor. Nothing has been done. Things are escalating every day, getting worse and worse every day. No system is put in place to check all this madness going on back home.
Still happening.
And now You are inviting them to celebrate with them. You are guilty of the same charge you imposed on these governors, and you are guilty of the blood of these young people, and it will never be well with you. Every single one of us who have participated or who is participating in inviting these people, it will never be well with any of you. Coming to Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, that's the word I have for this World Igbo Congress. If they want to behave, let them behave. If they don't want to behave, thank God that IPOB is moving with an unbelievable amount of success. We are getting Biafra with or without anybody. If they want to come in and help, that's fine. If they don't want, as a World Igbo Congress, it's up to them. It's their choice to make. Now, when we talk about Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, again, I had the chairman, the present chairman, because I'm not sure that Professor Jofo was the chairman then. I'm not sure. But I heard Professor Jofo say that they are under World Igbo Congress. That day he made the presentation, that very word put me off. That they are under World Igbo Congress. And I keep telling myself, you are under World Igbo Congress. As what? You are World Igbo Congress. They are Ohaneze Ndi Igbo back home. How are you under them? Are they sponsoring whatever you do here?
Oh, you're sponsoring them there.
Or are you sponsoring them? I mean, if he said that they are working in collaboration with, I can understand it. But to tell me that the whole World Igbo Congress is under Ohaneze Ndi Igbo is difficult to understand. And I've never accepted, it has never made any sense to me. So if you're under somebody, how do you change the person? Or are you telling me that World Igbo Congress endorses whatever Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, every mess that they are doing back home? So what is the difference between those at home? So what difference are you making then? Are you going to make then in order to influence Ohaneze Ndi Igbo if you are under them? So I told myself, you know what? Forget about these people. Focus on IPOB.
Yes.
By the grace of God, we are going to get our Biafra through IPOB. And then these people, if anybody wants to join along the way, you join. If you don't want to join, it's up to you. At the end of the day, nobody is now but also go a mile. Thank you. In
conclusion, can you advise our people? I know you have thanked our leader for the death of not thanked him for the death of the father and the mother. Also to encourage him and encourage IPOBs. And at the same time, I want to bring to the attention to the whole world, basically, specifically USA. We have an fundraising coming up in United States. I don't know about every other place because our leader is making moves that has put the zoo on the edge, on their toes. So we are having a type of black tile dinner with our leader here in United States. So I don't know if you're aware of that. Sure. It would be very good if you can encourage your fellow priests to be part of it, and also to encourage IPOBs here in United States to be part of it. There are different categories of funds that will be raised. If you are interested to be part of it, to have the dinner with our leader, supreme leader, spirit leader, or Hamadike, whatever you call him, I call him Wachineke. Right. And if you want to be part of it, you can call all the state coordinators in the United States. Your state coordinator will be able to guide you through how to do that. Or you can call myself. So we would like you to encourage our people. Though our leader, when he came here last year, he talked about $1 fund. Our people are still slacking back on that $1 contribution. Even our people back home wanted to do that. So it's a very shameful thing for our people here in the United States not to ask questions about what is going on here, about back home where they're coming from. Every other people, they do the same thing. They support their people back home. They sponsor them. You see how the governors in the Western region did by providing whatever to their security, whatever. That's the same thing our people here are supposed to do with IPOB. If you are too coward or you are too cowardized or you are too fearful to be a man or a woman to stand for justice or to speak against the evil that are being committed against your people back home, at least you can put your hand in your pocket and support those who are doing it. Since our leader and his deputy, Mazuche before, have stand out, I was in this small miscreant in Esogasia. With the little we can, contribute to support. I know what it takes for him to make this travel that he's doing to the United States.
Yeah.
So if you can plead with our people to support I would like you to say something about that and to thank. There's so many people here online. They like what you're doing. Some of them are asking why you're not coming always. That they would like to be seeing you from time to time to come and talk. That Father Mbaka don't talk this way. They keep saying so at least so Father, I want you to say something about this and then we'll conclude this our interview.
Yeah. Let me say this. Freedom fighting has a couple of dimensions. The ultimate, the most important part of freedom fighting is those who are willing to commit their lives. Who are willing to lay down their lives for what they believe. Martin Luther King said it, the King Jr. Those who have nothing more noble than their lives, for which they are willing to lay down their lives, are not worthy to live. The struggle for Biafra restoration is a noble cause for which somebody will be willing to lay down his life. That's the ultimate sacrifice. That one is on the highest level. And we have already committed a lot of people in their thousands who have laid down their lives, including the parents of our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They laid down their lives for the struggle. That's the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes.
The next level will be the level of those who champion the ideas, those who marshal out the ideas, who articulate the ideas that will get us what we are looking for. It is said that ideas rule the world. And then next to it are people who sacrifice their time. Those who are willing to sacrifice their time to go the extra mile, to negotiate, fight, and work for the restoration of Biafra. That's a huge sacrifice. And I always say, now the least sacrifice in these levels of sacrifice is money. Money is the least you can sacrifice. There are people who are combining a lot of them, like our leader and the Mazuche Mefo and some of the people around them. They are sacrificing their time, they are mortgaging their lives, ideas. They are constructively drafting the ideas that is moving us forward, and they're putting in their money. So if somebody says, I cannot chip in, I cannot pay in money, I cannot contribute my money, then it basically means that he who is not for us is against us. Yes. Basically means you're against this struggle. And it basically means that you are in the same category as the saboteurs. And I'm dead serious about it. Why? because provision has been made. You can contribute your money openly. You can be an IPOB member, contributing monthly dues. You can contribute to quietly, silently. Nobody will know that you are doing it, especially our wealthy Biafrans and Igbos in particular.
Not in America here.
Both those here in America and those back home. Colonel Nwobosi, in his presentation he made some time ago, made it clear that freedom fighting is very expensive.
Yes.
Very, very expensive. Any freedom is not cheap.
At all.
Much less fighting for a whole people. It's not cheap. And the higher you go, the more costly it becomes. We are almost on the 11th hour from the hints I got from people like you, people who are up there. We're almost on the 11th hour. And what happens? It is becoming more and more expensive, more and more demanding financially.
Yes.
So, what I'm pleading and at the same time reminding our people is, onwere ife a na-akpọ ịkpọchi ya aka ururu na ife a na-eme eme. Ada ama ama. Even if you feel that there's no way we can get Biafra, ada ama ama. Do something in case you enweta ya.
Where we belong.
Ka enwe ike isi enwezi ebe we search the say yes, that you contributed.
Yes.
And I keep going back to our veterans, the Nigeria Biafra War veterans. They are held everywhere. They are held in very high honor everywhere they go. And yet there are people of their age that time who didn't go to war. Right? Mm-hmm. So why would you be surprised if your son says to daddy, this man, Papa Emeka, is being recognized as a hero? What happened? Didn't you fight the war? And then you tell them that, what would you tell them? The same thing is going to happen. We get this Biafra and your name cannot be found in any list. You didn't contribute your life, you didn't contribute your idea, you didn't contribute your time, you didn't contribute your money. So who are you? Who are you? How do we begin to deal with you? For something as serious as independence. So, I don't know how the best way to put it to our people. Now, Onyendu has established this $1 contribution. Thank God, a lot of people are not going by the $1. I know people who are going by $10. They calculate $10, every member of their family, they pay it. As a matter of fact, they calculate for the whole year and send out the check for the members of the family. I know somebody who's calculated $5. Only one or two calculating $1. Now, this $1 of a thing is meant for census who want to know exactly how many people who are on our side, on this side of this agitation. So we cannot look down on it. But we cannot get Biafra with $1. No, if anybody says that, I will be like, what are you talking? That is why we are planning, I got the information, we're planning for the dinner.
A black tie dinner with our leader.
Exactly, black tie dinner with Onyendu Mazenam Dekano sometime early, within the first quarter of this year. Yeah. And I saw the flyer broken down, $2,500, those who can afford it. They on the different category, 1,500, 1,000. And then for maybe those who can give 500 is an excellent. Some countries like Ambazonia, South Cameroon, they made their own flat, 1,000 everybody. You either give us 1,000 or you give us one of your paychecks in the year. And they collected a massive amount of money and they are moving forward and getting their result. So we need to get a result. We are by far more numerous than Southern Cameroon, and we can do better. Okay. It's a sacrifice you make that is indelible. I mean, even if, how many of, we can easily lose $1,000 like this.
Yes.
Can lose it like this.
Many of our people.
Yeah. So if you cannot sacrifice that and you can afford it, what are you cheating yourself, or are you cheating Biafra? No, you're cheating yourself, not Biafra, because eventually we'll get Biafra. Another thing is this, I want to put across. I keep making reference to Kosovo. Kosovo till tomorrow made it clear. I won't solicit for it, but it has happened that those who did not contribute for the liberation of Kosovo, what they are telling them is that you don't care, and if you don't care about us, we don't care about you.
It's simple. Oh, you think the way our youths are dying, and later our people here, especially Americans,
they'll
pack your feet and start enjoying.
If you didn't contribute for the freedom of Kosovo, stay back where you are. We don't know you. You don't know us. We don't know you. Till tomorrow. So something similar is happening in Jerusalem, in Israel. Because mostly the Israelis, they got this thing from East Europe, mainly East Europe and America. West Europe, they were very comfortable. They didn't want to do much. When they got their country and their state, they put certain things in order, preferential treatment for those who fought.
Yes.
For Israel.
Class citizens.
Yes. Preferential treatment for those who fought for the state of Israel. And then before they consider those who and you don't blame them. If your son becomes a victim of that preferential treatment, he should come back and ask you, why, Daddy, why didn't you contribute?
Sure.
And then he's going to come back to you and you'll be like, to be honest with you, I didn't know that these people were serious. So up till now, if you don't know that we are serious,
know it now.
How come? I keep asking this question. How come that America, just within this short period, Mazen Nnamdi started coming to America, they have changed the American ambassador in Nigeria. They have released Showore and Dasuki. Somebody was saying it's because of Showore's family fight. I said, okay, what of Dasuki? Did his family also fight for it? The Mazen Nnamdi has been fighting for the three people. Dasuki, Zazaki, and Showore.
Yes.
Now, Zazaki became a victim because his people burnt American flag and the Israeli flag. And you know America cannot take it lightly. They will tell you, go and put your people in order before we can start thinking of you. So they released Dasuki and Showore by Christmas Eve. They have changed the ambassador. They put Nigeria on the watch list. Do you know what it means?
Very good one.
That we are focusing on you. We don't know what you are doing. We want to be
and also
sure.
The ICC has taken up the IPOB case.
Just a few days ago, because of all these developments, the ICC has pulled up the case that IPOB filed for 4 or 5 years ago. Why? Because they have seen that the table is turning. Nobody wants to stay on the side and be like, I was part of this thing, part of the problem that held Biafra back. No, they have pulled up the case against Nigerian federal government, especially the Buratai, the chief of army staff, and all of them, those who killed people massively back home, the Python dance and all that. So they are now looking into the case. So things are happening. Now, you come to the Yoruba mobilizing themselves and providing their security. This is what our people here in the US are supposed to rise up and say, Yorubas are protecting their area.
Okay.
What are you governors doing?
Nothing.
In Southeast.
Selling the Southeast, selling everything.
What are you doing in the Southeast? Our women are being raped. People are killed every day. So the point is this: you keep quiet today, tomorrow you become a victim.
Sure.
If you don't do anything today, tomorrow you become a victim. And finally, let me encourage the members of IPOB. So far, so good. We thank God. I believe, I have never doubted that God's hands is in this struggle, whole and entire. And it's like, the way I feel is like God says, enough is enough. This is my time, and God's time is the best. We must never lose sight of the successes we have made. We must be motivated on daily basis. We keep on keeping on, according to our Onyendu, our deputy director, Mazu Chemefo. We have to keep on keeping on.
Yes.
And like Onyendu Mazinandkanu will say, we must remain focused, never be distracted. As even more focused than the Fulanese, who were able to who were willing to compromise their relationship with Britain in order to achieve their aim.
Their useless aim.
That's a sign of somebody who is focused. That's a sign of somebody who is so determined and is going to achieve what he's fighting for, unless there is a counter force. And IPOB is that counter force. And one thing we must take note of in IPOB, the only reason why we are able to destroy the Fulanese is because of one thing, and that is discipline. Discipline. Our Onyendu has been hammering on it. It is because of discipline that a small army can defeat a very massive army.
Yes. Just with microphone.
Yeah. Because, okay, look at, if you were God and you are to judge, no matter how strong Fulanese are, when they start raping people anyhow and killing people anyhow, any small disciplined army will destroy them. Because they will lose. Yes. Even though they are fighting for a cause that they are so convinced of. The fact that they lack discipline. Why are you raping people? Why are you killing people? You want Islamization? Yeah, do it diplomatically, the way you have been doing it.
Right.
Through the politicians. Why do you have to wipe out villages? So, but if we stay with the discipline which our Onyendu kept hammering, definitely there is no how we cannot destroy the forces of the Fulanese. Because, I repeat, a small disciplined army will always destroy a very huge army. We must stay focused, stay disciplined, keep to our prayers, praying always. Without God, we can do nothing. We continue to consecrate our Onyendu into the hands of God to protect him and his team as they travel around, so that nothing happens to them. Because a lot of faith, a lot of spirit, a lot of hope is hanging on them. And so I will encourage our people back home, those who are fighting or who are on the ground, stay focused, keep up the good work. We are in the 11th hour. Uchemefo will say we have done 80% of the job, but the remaining 20% is very expensive. Much of it is dependent on people overseas. If we can do the financial contribution, I believe in no distant time we will have our Biafra. All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra. Thank you very much for
having
our
me.
Father in the Lord, Reverend Father Austine. We appreciate your time and effort to speak with our people. And me, myself, on behalf of Umuchukwu Writers Media Group USA and worldwide back home, my name is David Ezekwesili Okosisi Kobobego. And also, there are some questions people are throwing here in regards to the money. The $1 is specifically for those in USA.
Yes.
If you are outside the United States, we don't need you unless our leader approves your own country.
Yes.
It's only here in United States it's
for
approved.
USA. Yes.
That's the $1 is approved for you people in United States.
Yes.
You can't be in China or London and you send us $1 and we use $20 to catch your $1. So it doesn't make sense. We don't need you. Our people back home, we don't need you. The fundraising we are talking about is for people in USA. Yes. Unless our leaders speak otherwise in your location or in your country. When it comes to your country and give you guys the command, you go ahead and do it. I'm just saying what we are being stipulated to do here in USA.
Yes.
Anybody telling you he will give you an account there is going to dupe you out. I am the state coordinator here in New York State. In New Jersey, we have state coordinator. So all you have to do, if you are in USA, you send me text or you call me, then I will put you through based on the state where you are in US. Nice. Then if we are for the fundraising, then we'll put you through. If you don't have state coordinator in your state, yes, we'll put you with Dr. Koro, who is our national coordinator here in USA.
Yes.
So once again, I am David Ezekwesili reporting for Umuchukwu Family Writers Media. Shalom to every one of you. Father, shalom.
Shalom. Thank you very much.